Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of I'm Not a Player, I'm a Gamer podcast. As I start every single podcast, I would first of all like to say thank you so much for the feedback that everyone's been sending my way. Truly blessed with all the kind words that everyone's saying. The past few episodes, we've had Alicat from the CDL, we've had Jesco on, we've had people who have been nominated and won ESports awards, which is truly humbling for myself that people are getting involved. And I mean, shout out for everyone who's saying they're wanting to get involved in the future. Um, Without further ado, then, representing not just CDL, we will get into all the things that the guy next to me has been involved in. But I am joined by Blaze this week. Blaze, how are you?
I am doing fantastic, Miles. Happy to be here. It's been a beautiful day so far. Got some gaming in this morning, had my coffee, a good workout in, and it's been a vibe so far.
I love all the coffee drinkers. Like sometimes he'll have some of the younger lot are obsessed with all their energy drinks and
No,
stuff.
for
But
real, as I
coffee,
get older, because the main source of caffeine that I started off on was Red Bulls. Red Bulls and like Jack 3D energy drinks. So, and granted, at the time, I don't think we knew how much caffeine that we were getting.
no,
So even as I get older and I just need to get my dosage, I become a coffee connoisseur.
yeah,
And so I've realized that rather than making coffee faster, I've been obsessed with making coffee slower. Okay.
yeah.
I'm at the point now where before I went from buying beans ground, now I buy them whole. I had a grinder. Now I'm doing a slow grind with them, a slow drip. And it's become a awesome morning ritual for you know my juice for the day.
This is where I'm hoping to get to. I'm very much a coffee pod guy. I've moved away from the instant coffee. I've moved to the pod world.
Mm-hmm,
I'm at
mm-hmm.
that level where I need the coffee on the go, but I want to be the fresh coffee. I want to be the grinding it myself, doing the full works.
Yeah, right. Like I feel like it's a certain time of day where sometimes you need a quick coffee, because if I'm between games, if I had an espresso machine, that'd be awesome just to go get one. But early in the morning, I still got a little bit of boogers in my eyes, some sleep or whatever. I want to grind those beans right off the bat.
Right. For guys that and gals who don't know who Blaze is, I open up the floor to yourself as almost as a podcast version of a CV almost for who is Blaze and what has Blaze done so far in the world of gaming and everything else, I guess.
So when it comes down to, this podcast CV, my gamer tag is Blaze. My first name is actually Guy. And so that's how Guy Blaze came together. I am a, former chef who, still loves to cook that converted into the esports world because I loved a game called Gears of War. And so, through Gears of War, I had played it professionally, and then when my time was up in that game, I transitioned over to a caster, and that's really where my esports career started. Was casting full time for Gears of War, and telling the stories of those players in that league for many years. And when Gears esports was done and transitioning out, I got more into COD and other esports out there as a caster and some desk host, or you probably see me more as a stage host now for Call of Duty and HCS
So
and sometime ALGS.
what Call of Duty was it that started you off? Because now I've had people of many different ages on this podcast, and it ages me really quickly to know that when I was 16, Xbox Live and COD 4 was starting off. So
Yes.
I was definitely thrown into the deep end of this is what game chat is. Welcome to the abuse.
Yeah.
Um, you may thought you were the best at playing Call of Duty in your street, but now you're playing people worldwide and you get humbled fast. Like what Call of
Very
Duty
fast.
where did you
So
start with?
so the COD that really put some hair on my chest and really activated the testosterone was Call of Duty 2. Okay.
Nice.
And Call of Duty 2, I was playing on Xbox 360, and I went up against some goons in that game. Okay. I remember all the clan tags to this day because that's where I really got addicted to gaming. Like the Type Z, the Team Fear, the Only On Point, OOP, the LGDs out there, right? And these were players that you saw kind of transition from Dreamcast to other different games, and they were all just online on these US servers, and they were gods. Like I'm talking about, like they were people who would take off their auto aim, okay, and still destroy you. All right. And so it was COD 2 and Perfect Dark Zero was my very, very first game that got me into online competitive shooters.
And I guess when you were playing COD 2, did you have a group of friends that you used to play with, or was it? So I remember game battles for obviously being in the UK. Game battles, I would start off with them, and that's again. I used to be very good at my close friends
Mhm.
group. We'd come round, we'd all LAN in, so that we'd have everyone hooked up, we'd have multiple screens going. But the moment it came to game battles, where it's like you're only allowed to use certain weapons, if someone suddenly rocked out a
Yep.
grenade launcher, you were banned. Game didn't count. You had to declare all this.
I had that group, okay, and I'm just gonna say right off the bat, shout out to XURX Team Underrated, my very first clan, team leader Phenom, Crucial, Diabolic, Bandit, the original five. We were out there, okay. They got me hooked on game battles, and and once game battles was discovered, at that point, my nights were packed. It opened up a whole different world. I come from a town in Indiana, from a town called Gary, Indiana, and it wasn't much to do out here. And so after school, I came home, and I would just game. So as soon as I got Xbox Live, it was over in a good way.
Oh, listen, I tried to explain like the GCSEs when I'm 16, so I'm ready to sit my exams, and they let you go home early to revise. And a little did my parents know, and they'll only know now through listening. There was no revision going on. It was Xbox Live instantly.
Hmm.
It was such a struggle. I
I
remember Call of Duty World at War came out just part way through it, and I remember committing so much time, and I was like, early days, search and destroy, leaderboard. I was like top 20 in the world, and I was like, I can't sleep now because if I sleep,
Yeah.
someone else is overtaking me. And we were the epics clan tag. There was me and three others, and I remember we were there like, right, we've got to keep each other going.
Hmm.
Like we were all top 20, search and destroy. I felt once you fell asleep, you look back on, you've plummeted. It's gone. Like that's from
It's
them.
gone. You're like it was a legitimate grind to get to those leaderboards. You were paying attention to the numbers, and there was a pride that we had in that. There was a respect that we had in that. And sometimes, it was just a world that seemed better, fun, more fun than school, you
Oh,
know?
and this is where the Red Bull, or for myself, it was relentless. This is where them energy drinks came in clutch because I I
Yeah.
I was going 48 hours, 56. I don't know how I was
I
functioning.
really think that's the only way I've done it, and I don't know if I can get to that level of caffeine intake again. And I think that was just a certain season of my life, where I was like going. That was the grind. I was saying this yesterday, like my teens were my dreamer years, right? My 20 was my rise and grind years, all right? Now I'm in my mindful 30s. And but those rise and grind years, like I was going off of 4 hours of sleep and I was waking up like, let's get it, A little bit of caffeine, nicotine, I was out the door. All
Oh,
right.
I was waking up first thing in the morning, having sleep. Like nowadays, if I don't get more than 6 to 7 hours sleep, I can tell, and I need
Mm-hmm.
excessive amounts of coffee because my body just can't function from it. Like,
Also, I want to say before we go forward, nicotine bad for you.
yeah.
Okay, get your sleep, kids. Also, stay in school. All right, those
Oh,
are the three.
I will say,
Oh,
I
want
the
to hit all
exams
those points,
continued. There's an argument to say how I would have performed if Xbox Live had like delayed their release by a couple of years, and
bro.
I might
I
produce better numbers.
I'm with you on that one, man. I have like so many like crazy stories of my like early Xbox days in school, and the one was that I could see myself in my life really like having my first addiction, okay, of online gaming, and I was like really wanting to play. I was on game battles, and I was saying no to sports to actually go home and
Yeah,
play, and then at the time, I was in this mindset. My Xbox broke, E74 error, out the door. I was like, what the hell? And so I was like, you know what? I need something to do. I actually want to go play football. Had a fantastic season, loved the sport. And when it was all said and done, the very last playoff game, I'm like walking up to my front door, ankles taped up. We lost it, but it was a war. I'm like, man, what a season. And it's a little brown box on the corner of my doorstep. And then I have finally got my Xbox back. And I was like, but you know what? I actually got to get out the house and touch grass,
yeah.
okay? Get tackled on grass, lay on some grass, and like actually like live a good high school life. And then after I got that one back, the next year Gears of War came out, and it was a wrap.
But was it the red rings of death that wrote off your
It was the
Xbox?
red rings of death, boy. I
Listen,
remember being on the phone for hours, on hold for hours. Like, you're gonna send me a brand new Xbox because I don't got 200 for another one, but you're gonna figure this out.
kids these days won't understand the pain of when you went to turn your Xbox on and you saw them
It
rings
just
of death
don't
and you
work
realized
one
it was
day.
done. You know, it was
Literally,
game
the
over.
the one thing that you can compare it to is like, imagine being on sugar and being cut off. Okay, it was probably close to like being addicted to like heroin.
Yeah.
Okay, drugs. And one day someone cut you off cold turkey, your Xbox broke. It's like, wait a minute, hold up,
But
something ain't right.
before Xbox and those days, did you do any gaming before then? Were you Nintendo? Did you have any consoles before then, or was Xbox where it all
Yeah,
started for you?
I was a Nintendo kid, Super Smash Brothers Melee, you know, 007, Perfect Dark
Of
Zero.
course.
Like, I can put those three games as the games that kind of shaped where I went as a kid. And you know, after that, of course, Grand Theft Auto Dynasty Warriors was my PlayStation years. And then after that, it was Perfect Dark Zero and Gears of War on 360. And you know, I never kind of looked back from that.
Do you think GoldenEye now, let's say they remastered it, do
Mhm.
you think that'd be a success on the main stage? Like there are generations of people who were brought up on GoldenEye, and I feel like people would watch that.
You know, I agree with you. I feel like they kind of screwed up a little bit because I don't know if you remember, but they tried to put it on the Xbox marketplace for a little bit.
Yeah.
They tried to do that and Perfect Dark Zero, and all they had to, regular Perfect Dark, but all they had to do was change up the control schemes because it was still moving as if you had kind of like one joystick on it.
Yeah.
And so if they just updated the control schemes, tweak the auto aim, okay? Because the auto aim is the real kicker. I mean, aim assist is the real kicker. You tweak that a little bit, I think that you will have people to actually like fall in love with it because there was a 007 Agent Under Fire for the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
GameCube
Yeah.
that was really good,
Yeah.
you know? And so I would love to see something like that come back, but you need the right people to make it. Perfect Dark come out again. I'm through the moon.
Yeah. I think people would be fighting to be op job though. That's the problem. Is like who gets to be op job when you're playing? Because
Throwing the hat every time.
whoever gets that, yeah, the aim assist again. It's like aiming up and down for him.
Yep.
It's trying to spot him.
I
Um,
swear, you know, we used to have the sweatiest games on those quad screens, and I'm like, how did we do this? We were like experts.
oh, I'd get the remote mines and I'd run around the entire map laying out remote mines. Find a toilet cubicle, close the toilet cubicle, and just set off the mines, and just slowly in the other three corners would
Go
just
through
be
the vents
red.
on complex and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, good
Um,
times.
I had it when I tried. I played a remastered Crash Bandicoot. My partner wanted to play Crash Bandicoot. I was like, sure, let's give it a go. I forgot the rage levels that I could get to in early
Wow.
gaming days because nowadays I feel like gaming. I don't have that rage as much. When you're playing competitively, obviously you can get. When I play Crash Bandicoot, even when they've tried to remaster it and do the changes,
Hmm.
the controls aren't right. They're still like they're built on a PS2 controller or PS1
Yeah.
controller, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Like I don't. I go back. I'm with you. I go back and I play some of those old games, and I'm like, how did we do this? You know, the only one I think that was perfect from day one. Okay, and we can end the old game conversation on this one is SSX Tricky.
For sure.
SSX Tricky. Beautiful game. Absolutely perfect. Just play some music, grind some times. You're having the time of your life.
Oh, I remember. I think there was an Avril Lavigne album that was out, and for some reason, all I associate is I was playing SSX Tricky, I had Avril Lavigne on blast, and nothing else mattered in the world.
Nothing else matters, man. I could do runs for hours and just had the time of my life. Okay.
It's like when Pro Skater came out as well for Tony Hawk. It's
Mhm.
like those were the games where I could lose hours and have no idea what the time is, and
You
then you suddenly look up and it's gone.
I will say this, and you know, out of respect of my childhood, you know, my first introduction, it wasn't a game, digital game, but it was Pokemon TCG. Pokemon TCG really got me like locked in into competitive gaming. Like I was going to tournaments in Chicago for that one, just traveling, okay, getting top 12 still.
Well, so obviously you mentioned Gears of War and how that went for you. So how did you've progressed with Call of Duty and Gears of War? How did you start finding your way into turning what is for a lot of people a social pastime or something that they enjoy or love? How did you turn that more into actual a career? And how did the transition go? Was it a smooth one, or is it like what was there such a grind to it that I can't even imagine trying to do it now from
Yeah, like I was it was a blessing that happened, but it wasn't I guess an intentional grind at first. Okay? And the reason why it wasn't is because my intentional grind was winning tournaments. I wanted to become a professional player, you know? I wanted to go in and kick all my friends' butt in gears and compete for first place because I feel like I could do that, with the right, time and the right team. But whenever I got eliminated from tournaments, okay, which was around that top 12, top 8 range, the rest of the tournament, I will actually go up and I will cast. And then the first cast was WCG '07. We're in Orlando. And my teammates, I was playing with a squad called Team Texas. They got me last second. They needed a filler. We came in. It was so cool just because that was the first time where someone actually paid for the trip for me to go somewhere. All right. So I thought I was the shit.
Yeah.
But I got knocked out that tournament. I went up there, I casted, and the producer comes up to me afterwards and he was like, "Yo, Blaze, great job. But can you stop saying yo so much?" And I was like, "All right, yo, I got you. Don't worry about it, yo." But that was my very first crutch word,
Yep.
but I was doing it for fun and my community enjoyed it, where that I was accepted to go cast in gears. And that's kind of where I like polished myself up for years. And then, fast forward, I think it was like 9 years later, had a full-time position. And they said, "Hey, we want you for this." And we feel like over the years, you've been, what you're talking about, the game. And so come on through. And then at that point, I realized that it was possible to do this full time. And so at that point, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." And so from there, it just comes down to taking that next evolution,
Yeah.
because first one was gift of gab and me listening to myself and kind of critiquing myself and trying to emulate the sportscasters who I heard, which, shout out Scott Hansen, NFL Red Zone. Okay.
Listen, the
The
man.
guy, oh my God, you
He
listen
will
to
not go
him
to the toilet for ad-free football every single Sunday for your benefits.
every Sunday. That was one of the highlights of my career 2 years ago. I got to work with him for the first time.
Oh, no way.
And yeah, so talking to him, it was the first thing I came to. I said, "Hey, Scott, I don't do this too often, but big fan,
Yeah.
big fan." Okay, you
Oh,
know,
Red Zone is my life every Sunday. I'll have the Titans game on one screen, and then I will have Red Zone on the other, and then Red Zone pops into the Octabox, and it's like I'm in my happy place at that point. Like lob on another monitor and have a Twitch stream over there, and I'm just now
yeah,
surrounded in everything that I need.
this is very peaceful, very peaceful.
So for someone, I'm ashamed to say that never really gave much time to Gears. Before we look at what happened next for you, for someone that doesn't play Gears, what was so appealing and enjoyable about playing, but then not just playing, but then casting a game like Gears?
Yeah, for me, Gears at the time was so unique with it being a third person cover shooter. The 1v1 fights were very engaging. You being able to curve stomp somebody, punch them into the ground, the snipe shots, and then it was 4v4 execution. It was pretty much S&D without a plant, without you having to plant the bomb. So it was 4v4 elimination. And once I got on that game, I came across some real cool people in lobbies and playing game battles for it, and I was just better at that game than I was others, and so I got really hooked into that. And so at that point I wanted everyone else to kind of feel what I felt, and so every time I hopped on a mic to talk about it, I felt like I wanted to educate and teach you about the game, so it going forward, it really was like a perfect storm, and then kind of when Gears died off, uh being able to work with MLG and do Gears, I met so many amazing people who I grew up with at the older MLG events, because my first gaming event was MLG Meadowlands '07, right? And so some of those same people who I met there, fast forward 9 years later, still working there. Okay. They knew me from back then. They knew who I was, and I would take that to say never burn bridges. Okay. If you're a
Yeah,
good person, be a good person. treat people nicely because you never know who is going to be in a position years later to hire you, for what you want to do.
Oh, for sure.
And I came across so many opportunities like that, and that's kind of how I was able to get a shot at COD, which yeah, I think you asked me this earlier. My first COD event was I was actually a Bravo observer the whole season for Infinite Warfare, and that's where which I really fell in love with COD after that one, after watching it so much. Then after that I casted, I think that was World War II. I did Bravo cast in there, and then we kind of realized that we needed an MC or a stage host because it's a big crowd there. And so then after that, I transitioned to the stage host, and that's how I went from that.
Yeah, so straight from Gears, did you go straight from Gears to Call of Duty, or was there something in
Uh,
between?
yeah, I was doing them both at the same time
Yeah,
because MLG, they were doing Gears and COD events,
yeah.
and so rather if it was, I was able to help them on COD, which I wanted to travel with them. I wanted to travel with the squad and go to the event. So, they found a spot for me, and that was me casting on Bravo streams and helping them out there or helping them out observing. Which I was happy to do. I'm a team player like that. Put me in where you can put me in, coach. I'm gonna do what we got to do, but I was able to, get in with the community, meet more people, learn the game, and then when a position opened, I was like, hey, I'll take this one, especially if no one else wants it. I'll take it.
And when you get involved in the Call of Duty events, sort of nowadays, and even in the past, did you ever? It's difficult to say. Did you ever back anyone? But obviously, you could never have bias. But were there any teams or any people that you used to watch who were like? So for like me personally, I've always been Optic. Optic has always been
Yeah.
so the old Karma, Scrump, and everyone else. Like those are days, and like
Mm-hmm.
over. Oh, really? I need to reorganize my thing. But up there, I've got a Dallas Empire with Crim and Shotzi, and like
Mm-hmm.
Crim to me is all time. Like when they had the lifetime achievement with the esports awards and stuff, and he
Yeah.
was doing his full thing. Like I've loved Crim like his whole career. Like was there any people that you'd like to back or you particularly like to like interact with when you're at these events?
Yeah, definitely so. I will say that, um, you know, probably the first team that I in COD that I was a fan for, that, I enjoyed the organization, I enjoy what they were about, and I just kind of loved that grit, was Envy. I remember meeting Hastro at his first MLG event, and being able to meet those guys. It was a Dallas event. I think it was 09, 08. They did a COD tournament there and saw some of those guys for the first time. When I got back into it years later, two pros that showed me a lot of love and came and talked to me was Scump and Clay. Talked a lot with those guys and was a Clay fan before. So yeah, I would say Envy, Clayster, and I've always been a fan of, kind of like the underdog number two type team, not the one to get all the love, but the
And
one that just gotta,
that's the problem with me.
yeah.
Like in my Optic, I know what happens. The moment you say you're an Optic fan, listen, I get it. They're a popular team.
Hey,
Everyone loves them, but
I love my Optic fans. I gotta say that.
yeah,
No shade on the Optic fans because
they
I
turn
do
up.
love their squads. Optic is, for me, being a person of color and coming up in competitive shooters. I saw very few people that looked like me at a high level. Okay, playing
Yeah.
like that on Xbox. It was a lot of them in. It was a lot in Gears back then. And after that, it was a lot more in COD than more in Halo as people started, getting Xboxes and actually started learning about these events and traveling, but that Optic roster where it was Zio plus Dashy,
Yeah.
first full POC squad of, like, I want to say all of competitive shooter
Hmm.
esports. Okay, big fan of that team, and even like what they do on a content grind. So, and then the Optic fans are the loudest in the fucking crowd. Every
Oh,
time I tell them, bro, every time I tell them, I'm like, make some noise. Fucking roof
they'll be
shaking,
there for you. They'll be there for you.
shaking. They're
Did it
gonna
make
be
you?
always be there for me. So I give them what they want, man. When we do giveaways, whatever, I'm like, what y'all need?
And like, do you have any like standout before? Because I want to talk about obviously the late CDL was out in Miami, and obviously I think Miami is probably my favorite place that I've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I love it out there. But like, Do you have any like standout moments from from the past? And listen, I know you probably have so much to go over your experience over, well, we're talking what, 15,
Yeah.
16, 17 years of it now.
Hmm.
Like, are there any standout moments that really like sort of just stand out amongst the rest?
Miami specifically, or like as the my C just CDL, you know?
But you know what, CDL gears, like
Okay.
I just sort of hearing the moments where it's like, because there must be moments when you look back at, so whenever I'm watching a stream of Call of Duty, I was
Yeah.
because I have the luxury whenever I'm at the esports world of talking to like Miles Ross, and I had a good chat with Chris Booker, and obviously I speak to Ali a lot, and the way that they talk about the crowd and the experiences and everything else, and I hear the highs and lows, I hear the negative sides as well, but like it must be surreal sometimes where you take a step back and just go like, I was
It
there, I
is.
did that.
So the ones that I'm proud of, I think I got three off the top of my head that I can give you, three quick ones. One was Call of Duty New York, where we did the sick ass Crim 6 intro to like the Undertaker music, the
Yeah.
blackout, like rehearsing that and then like watching it all come together, going back to watch it on stream, how they like changed the hue to make it like super, super dark. That and the Kenny was also Kenny Dark Vader. Those were awesome to orchestrate, okay, and watch come to life. Gears of War Mexico City, our last event before COVID. We had spent so much time like really like growing the esport and getting it back on top that we had like two levels of main stage because there was so many fans out there supporting like the local team and that just love Gears esports that I ain't never seen that many fans, come out for Gears and like we're signing autographs. They want to take pictures with you. Like I have never felt like that anywhere else but in Mexico City. And then I guess like as far as like a performance one, I enjoyed my performance. It was Kai Champs Grand Finals. I think it was the first one, 100 Thieves one. It was like where they had the black trophy. But what I
Yeah.
love so much about it was that the night before, because I'm asking myself, I'm going through my process because my hardest days are Sundays. Just because like we want them to be more epic than the other three. I want to say some new shit. I want to like really feed into the crowd. And my grand finals intro for Call of Duty out of all the other esports, I think I want to be the most grandest because we got the most people in the venue. I get 100,000 people watching online, and so you go to the stage and you can't freeze. You can't like get up there and read from a card. We were talking about like note taking earlier.
Yeah.
I learned from my very first time I ended up having to do it. I just put bullet points on that sucker.
Yeah.
I know that it has to like really come from my soul for it to like hit. And I think the night before I was hanging out with Study and we were outside and he was like, "Yo, B, man." He was like, "What you gonna do for your grand finals?" He's like, "You gotta do something epic." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You know what? I'm about to say something like this." And I literally just off the top of my head recited him the whole speech and we're going fucking crazy. And I was like, "Yo, that is clean." Literally actually typed it out on my phone. Went back the next day, it was already in my head because I thought
Oh,
about it
yeah.
all night. And I got out there and I just crushed it. And I
Yeah.
was like, this is it. I was all black. I was sparkly. I loved the fit. It was that was my favorite. Yeah.
And listen, you talk about note taking, and again, I've got the bullet points, but you make my life easy when you're just mentioning the bullet points without me having to say anything. 2 points, 2 points of it. First of all, and you tweeted about it very recently.
Mhm.
We need wrestling style entrances for every
Yes.
single person in CDL. Like, I would love to see every single person because listen, we've just had WrestleMania, so obviously you've been watching it, and like the
Mhm.
Undertaker coming in behind the Rock was unreal. You can't tell me that no one else
I,
would like.
I I think that there is a way for us to bring in personalities throughout the Call of Duty history into these matches and make them a little bit more grander without taking away from the experience, because you want the player's experience to be the same every single match. Get up on stage, get set up, you hit your intro, even if the intros are like a little bit unique, you don't want to do some crazy shit 5 minutes for one team unless it's their home event.
Yeah.
That's different. But and then it's like, okay, get into the game because it's like we're taking away from gameplay. But if we can find some way to like Actually, we're not. We're increasing the odds, but we need to find a way to do things around that matchup, even if it's with the personalities like Hitch or Zuma and those guys or
Yeah,
Gersh, and try to do that. But because WWE has like that behind the scenes look
yeah,
behind the stage, right?
yeah.
We need to find a broadcast way to take the free cam and go and get the drama going. So
Listen, you know the crowd would love it. That the people would love it. You're
they
right.
would.
It's just how you make it so it's not too much of a factor towards the actual games themselves. But there's got to be a way around it because the moment I saw your tweet, I was like, oh, they've got to do it. Like just the music involved and the lighting that
Hmm.
you get at these events. You know, it'd be insane.
Yeah, no, it would be, yo. So I'm always down to do some stuff like that, or even make a dope show match, right? Or how it's themed. Like when I do ACS stuff, their big team battle show match, is always fun when between, Washi and Golden Boy.
Yeah.
You bring in a bunch of personalities, you do some fun things on stage and you keep it going. But definitely agree that there is a way for us to increase the stakes and really set that place on fire a little bit more for the
And
stage.
I think we need to get also the desk guys versus the guys out in the crowd. We need to set up like a death match between you guys on CD as
Oh,
well.
they don't
But
want the they don't want the smoke, okay? Because check this out. They don't even know about me yet. Like I'm the dark horse of all dark horses, okay? You don't want to see me gallop. But what you gotta worry about is you gotta worry about Allie,
yeah,
you gotta worry about Nameless, and you gotta worry about Study.
yeah.
Okay? You can plug me and Puckett in if you want, okay? And if you really think you can do more, don't forget about Chance, Joe, and Miles. They'll make a whole nother team and put Clint up in there. All right, we got
You
some shooters on our
you've got to do a
teams.
best of. It's not just CDL. Like you've got to throw another game. You know, if you're thrown in league and stuff, you're gonna get all form of toxicity, and I think there's an opportunity for
That's
that.
gonna yeah, no, you're right. That's gonna be good. I love little things like that just to, get the crowd activated
Yeah,
and um really just add a little bit more to the league.
yeah.
Not so much playing just the competitive game modes all the time, but doing some fun stuff like that, it really does add to it.
I think there's got to be opportunities for crossovers, even if you're doing like you have a Smash Bro event just before and stuff, and you reach out to some of the Smash Bro guys. I'm sure they'd be interested in crossovers. It's just, but you also mentioned the grind, like so. Obviously, you mentioned like the effort that you put in beforehand, like
Yeah.
peeling behind the curtain. How much grind does it take for? Let's use Miami as an example. So we've just had the CDL at Miami. Like, how much prep time does it truly take for like the major weekender, shall we say?
For me, it's not as much as it used to take. Just because I'm watching Pro League, okay? I'm, staying up to date on Twitter. I'm seeing the drama. You got people out there like Tactical Rap who's gonna package it up for you nicely.
Yeah,
And then, when you get to the event, it's really kind of about being present there in that moment, because it's a lot happening in those series. It is so, especially when it comes down to interview questions, I want to talk about things that I just saw in a game. Okay. So that's stuff that I'm doing at the event. I want to, ask them a personal question. I also want to give them time because it may be their only time you see them on actual broadcast all weekend. I want to give them time to really kind of talk to their fans as well. And then also to add in whatever kind of like, history about the series we can. You don't want it to be too much of a podcast up there because the desk kind of breaks down a lot of it, and the casters do as well. But then after that, we go into really a lot now is keeping the crowd kind of activated. We do a lot of giveaways when it comes down to like anytime it's a commercial break during a broadcast, I'm out there in the crowd with some scuff controllers, some t-shirts, sign, anything, and we're playing a bunch of different games in the crowd, playing music, trivia, rock paper scissors is the favorite, push-up
yeah.
contest, and making sure that the event experience is just as fun as the actual broadcast. And so that's kind of really where my role has transitioned to over the years. And so, I've enjoyed doing that for COD and Halo. So that's me working with the producers and us just really kind of planning together how do we want these people to come and have a good time.
Where is the best crowd?
Of all the esports that I kind of work for,
Which crowd has literally made you go, these are the ones?
okay, the crowd that has literally made me go that these are the one is LCS fans.
Oh,
Okay, just
really?
LCS fans. Yeah, I worked for them, did some shows for them the last 2 years, and actually, you go back to one of my highlights, United Center. Okay, LCS. I was emceeing there, but what made it so special was it was the first event that was close to my hometown. So my family actually got to finally come through and see me in action. And so for, my son, my parents, and for everybody to come through, my sisters, my brothers, and be like, yo, we're seeing him in action, dead center, dead center of United Center, getting the crowd hype. And the league fans, like, they're coming with signs, they're coming cosplayed. You know it's going to be packed all around. Every kill, every gank, it just erupts. And we have seen that online for so many years, ever since they brought a dragon got from the skies into the arena. So I gotta give it to league fans. But outside of that, COD fans all day. Okay, a COD champs is like any other place, man. Okay, they will cheer you, they will boo you, they will let you know how I feel, but love you or hate you, they gonna make some noise.
Now it's Toronto next for the CDL guys, which I mean, Toronto's it's a place I've never had the joy of going to, but I'd love the opportunity to be out there. And obviously, I'm always calling for. I want a London
Yeah.
major event or a UK major event. Like, is there anywhere that you feel like
Mhm.
you'd love CDL to try out? Like, what's a place that you think would be an amazing place to go and see maybe
Uh,
a new type of fan that you haven't seen before?
so okay, if we're, I was gonna say CDL. At first, I was gonna say Mexico City.
Mhm.
I think they, even though I don't know how strong the LATAM community is on console COD, I know that they're very popular on mobile COD.
Yep.
I think that they can sell out a venue out there. But somewhere, because if we're talking like dream locations, let's go to Japan is cool.
Yeah.
Let's go somewhere like let's go to Amsterdam. Let's go.
Oh,
Let's go back to Paris. In a big venue. But you gotta always factor in like what type of crowd is probably gonna show up here.
hey, the European fans love their Call of Duty. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the American fans because they go
Amsterdam will
hard.
be lit.
But
CDL
yeah,
Amsterdam
for
will be
sure.
popping.
Like that'd be insane. Um, you're at the Toronto event?
Uh yes, and this will be my first time for CDL Toronto since CDL. You know. Yep. So this will be my first time there. So I'm super excited about that because the last 2 years I've watched it from home, you
Oh, really?
know,
Oh,
and I felt like it has been the biggest crowd every event, outside of champs. It has been a Toronto crowd. So I'm excited.
and until I give Puckett the opportunity to come on and defend himself, is he as bonkers crazy as he comes across? Now, I've met him in person at the Esports Awards. I've told my story of him getting us in trouble with security because he's very good at doing that, but he's also very good at getting us out of trouble. Um, is he as crazy as he comes across?
Or
Box of
hold on,
frogs.
who we're talking about
Chris
again?
Puckett.
Oh, Chris fucking.
Yeah,
Yo, Chris he is not like, Chris is a ball of energy that he's one of the best people I have ever met in my life. He is not as intense as he may come across on stream, if that's what you're saying, or as crazy in that
yeah,
sense. But the thing is that you will still get that Chris though.
yeah,
He's gonna talk to you, he's gonna be present with you. It's gonna be exciting. I've learned some of my best lessons from Chris. I had some of my best conversations with him. And but he is really as awesome as he is on broadcast. I've been watching him since Halo.
yeah.
You talk about casters, right? People and commentators who really shape the game, and really, help shape my career too. And people that you look at, I said Scott Hansen before, but after Scott, it's Chris Puckett. Okay. He's there. I've learned a lot from Golden Boy, Benson, super important. And then another one would be Farouk. You know,
Mm,
people, Farouk is an honorable mention. You know, Farouk's still doing battle bots. Okay, people don't know
yeah.
that. Okay, Farouk is still out there stage hosting, and you know he was doing that in a do rag. Okay, he was out there in a do rag saying "lock it up," and for me, that's very inspirational. Okay, very
And it's almost as if you have my notes in front of you because it's like a perfect transition to so when you're
crazy how
outside
that worked. You know, certain
this
broadcasts. You know, you just had to hit a flow with people.
when you're outside of your events, do you spend much time watching other like? Well, first of all, what do you watch in terms of gaming?
Mhm.
We can. I'm happy to get into sports. Trust me.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but like when it comes to gaming, like, is there a certain game that you enjoy watching, whether it be Twitch, YouTube, or something else?
So I will watch pro leagues. You know, ALGS is, you know, I love their match point format. You know, I think that it's really awesome how, you know, one team gets to 50, but then you have to win a game. I've seen so many exciting moments with that one where ALGS is up there. You know, of course, watch COD and Halo, you know, their little tournaments online. And then Pokemon TCG, you know, those are the four that I watch the most. You know, Valorant, I was, you know, big in Valorant for a little bit, but I'm taking a Valorant hiatus. Okay. And so, you know, but Valorant is also up there on ones that I watch.
And do you have any like
And then
go to?
actual sports, I was gonna say football and F1. You know, those are the two that
Okay,
I'll listen to there for, you know, traditional sports commentators has been around for a few years. Yeah.
who's your F1? Who's your guy?
Oh, what's his name? The one who always be out on the paddock with the mic, you know, with the free cam interviewing everybody right before they get up in the cars.
Oh,
I forgot it. I forgot his name, and I hate I don't know it. I almost want to look it up.
it feels
Um,
awful that I've gone completely blank after then asking a question about F1 because I used to be obsessed with F1, so I was a big Kimi Raikkonen fan like my whole life, and then he
Brad. No, 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 no. Who is it? Who is it? Is Martin Brundle.
okay. Should
Martin
have.
Brundle.
My
Yeah.
head was going to the current races, and of course, run about if it's paddock and a camera, it'll be one of the X's. Yeah,
Yeah, but you know, every time like, you know, I see him, you know, just the way that, you know, he kind of just works his way through the crowd, you know. That and then, you know, just their casters or whatever, you know, even on their just quick play-by-plays on just certain moments, I think is really nice on F1.
football. Are we talking American or English?
American.
Who's
Yep.
who is your American football team?
The Chicago Bears.
And I'm
And
sure
man, you know, talk about a drought that's
you're looking
about to
forward to the draft.
that which yeah, I am looking forward
You're
to
going to
this
get
draft
yourself a
for
quarterback,
sure. Yeah, I
a
will
hell
say
of a
that, you
quarterback.
know, with my Justin Fields jersey hanging up in the back, you know, I was a fan that says, you know, I don't think that we needed to get rid of Fields. Okay. Like I understand why we're doing it because Bears, after the decisions that we've made before in previous drafts, okay, like for years of me being a Bears fan, my lifetime, we have been known as monsters of the Midway, amazing defense, sick ass special teams, okay,
Mm,
Devin Hester for years, but a fucking offense that can never score no points. Last quarterback, Trubisky, bust,
yep.
okay. Then we actually come out and get Fields. I feel like we was working with him, we was doing good, but you can't have the first round and give up one of the biggest hits in the draft of years and continue to be the laughing stock of the NFL, no matter what your loyal Bears fans say. So I get why we're drafting Caleb. Okay. I think he's going to do fine. We may
Hmm.
even get Marvin Harrison as well. But I hope that our defense gets better, but our offense is getting there. So
If you come out with Kate Williams and Marvin Harrison in the same draft, I would.
that'd be insane.
You're adding
Okay.
DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and the rest of them. You would be. Bears would be
It's like,
fine.
how can we lose? Like, get
You-
these boys in the goddamn film room or something. Okay, keep them hydrated, keep them fed, but keep them protected. They be protected at all costs.
There's no way you're coming out with both of them players. I
Shit,
don't
the
think the
whole
league
city of
can allow that
Chicago
to
got their
happen.
back.
Oh, listen, and Fields was gone for a. I'd be interested to see how he does. He's got a bit of a task at the moment. Although, listen, if you're behind Russell
I
Wilson,
think he is in his hyperbolic time chamber season. He's in a
yeah,
season of training.
yeah,
You know, I think that you know, I think that he has everything that he's missing, Russ has, and vice versa.
yeah,
And so they'll learn a lot from each other.
and transitioning back to gaming, obviously outside of sports, do you have anyone that you particularly like to watch? Do you have any go-to streamers, casters, content creators who are your go-to?
Yeah, when it comes down to, people I watch, I got we got our tryhards out there, I peek in the Merc stream, House stream, Frosty, love
Hmm.
watching him. Chill single player games. I watch Samora. I will watch who else off the net? I'm probably forgetting so many people, but uh, you know, even in watching those streams, like after watching them for a while, I get to a point where I'm just like, I should be streaming right now. I should be streaming right now. So
Yeah.
I after watching stream for a while, I'm like, I could be doing something else right now. Nice Wig is another one. His stream is always a vibe. So
And you've obviously got Toronto coming up. Have you got anything else coming up this year that you're particularly looking forward to, or are you living week by week, day by day after with CDL?
Nah, I have the rest of the year, like so CDL and Halo, I'm doing the entire seasons.
Hmm.
So this is my first year doing the entire CDL season since CWL. So I'm excited for that one. But I got those events on the calendar and some others around. But after Toronto, we got Halo London, and then we
Which
go
I'll
from
be there, by the way. Halo
yeah.
London. We are
Okay, you
so
will.
much looking forward
Yo,
to that.
they are sold out. I'm super excited for it. I
Yep.
want to stay a few days and maybe check out Italy for the first time. Maybe go back to Amsterdam. Maybe go to Ibiza. I don't know. Okay, I'm trying to go out on a European adventure.
I,
All right, I
I I
have
can show
to.
you some of London's delights for sure.
Yeah. And then after that, it is I think we got the CDL Carolina event. We got champs, we got DreamCon, we got Halo Salt Lake City. I think it's gonna be a fun event, even though Salt Lake City, the Mormon laws there are some very unique ones that will keep you sober.
Yeah.
Okay, that will keep a drink out your system real quick. Hey, power to them, they're successful. Um, and then yeah, so it's a few up on a calendar. Um, but it's kind of like you go to an event, have a week off, go to another event. It's kind of like a week off. So that's kind of like the flow going up into the summertime. And then at the end of the year, it's NFL TNG for the season.
All of me wants to look forward to the NFL season, but I need the draft to happen to know what I'm supporting.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
what's coming out yet, but
yeah, y'all got Derrick Henry is gone. I kind of felt bad for you guys on that one.
it was inevitable. I
Um,
feel it done his bit, and he's.
hey, and it was he left with a lot of love. Okay, Tennessee fans ain't got no hate for Derrick Henry. It's like, yo, you gave us all of you, and
I,
now
I watch his
go.
workout videos though, and I'm there like, this isn't for my team anymore. I'm
Yeah,
watching
they
him
don't
going.
have him.
I'm sat there eating some food, going, oh, I should really work out right now. I'm watching what Derek's doing. It's I could do what he's doing. It's not so bad.
Shit, nah, he is a physical freak of nature, and
Yeah.
now I think he's with the right team. I think the perfect team that screens Derrick Henry now, and them Ravens about to fly.
Oh, listen, as a dynasty fantasy football owner of Lamar Jackson, read option with Derek Henry. It's
Easy.
scary. It's
It's
scary.
easy. Like that's gonna be super excited. Like
Yeah,
Baltimore next year, man. And then the defense was already filthy.
yeah.
So they got the cornerback too from Kansas City as well. I want to say that.
Well, we got Sneed.
Yep, there you go. Yep, you guys need as
We got
well.
Sneed. Listen, we got
Beast.
Sneed. We picked up Calvin Ridley. We've picked up some players, but we still have an offensive line, which is basically just a barrier letting people
Oh, you
through.
guys got Sneed. Okay.
Yeah, we got
Yeah,
Sneed.
Tennessee got him.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
listen, we got some players. Chef, how how did
Yes.
the, so did how did the are you a qualified chef? What is the as someone people will be able to tell from my build, I'm a big fan of food. Um, how did that all start for you? Was it just from a young
as far
age, throw
as
yourself in the kitchen?
as far as the word qualify
Ooh.
goes, I had a company give me a chef code that said executive chef Guy
Hey,
Spencer
listen,
on it. So
that's enough for you.
they that's this the highlight of my culinary career of earning that jacket, because I always felt like it had to be a title that you earn. As a
Mm.
chef, you got to be able to go in, manage, lead, be able to successfully make some money.
Yeah.
Okay, have a positive P&L and do that. So I was cooking in high school. I had it nice where I was going to school a half a day, and when I came out the other half, I was either cooking in culinary school or I was playing gears. So those were the two I did, and went to culinary school right away. And then I came out and I was working in healthcare. So I mainly cooked for hospitals and nursing homes, and cooking with people with restricted diets,
Mm.
big batch orders, and I worked in 2 restaurants. So I love to cook. Now my obsession is baking. We do some baking streams over at twitch.tv/blaze.
Yeah.
And and the next is I want to get me a food truck going. So
Oh,
baking
right.
streams and get a food truck going. I got a few dishes that I want people to eat. And I feel like if I sold my food, people would absolutely love it. So that's the next goal.
I
Next
love.
transition in my life.
I
I'm gonna
love.
have a food truck on the beach. And then as I get older, I'm gonna be like teaching yoga, making bacon, egg, and cheeses. Okay, amazing coffee,
Yep.
and we're gonna be gaming with beach views somewhere out
This,
there. Okay.
I'm already sold by that. I've always been, so I've been a part of with Ali Cat's community, and she used to do her cooking streams, which I've told her we need more cooking streams, by the way.
Cooking
We
streams
just
is
need
everything.
more cooking streams in general. Like, I am obsessed with watching people doing cooking streams and trying to do cook alongs with them. I've I am a good bread maker when it comes to baking. It's the one
Oh,
thing I have in my. So I remember my partner. I often do a lot of the cooking, but baking. I once made this incredible bread and then baked it myself, and then we done the full baked camembert and everything else. And it's the one thing I've gone for me is I make a dynamite bread. That's
I was
cooking's
gonna
up and down.
ask, can you bring me some of your sourdough starter
All right.
to London? If you got a sourdough starter
Do
that
you
you've
know
been
what?
using, I was gonna say bring me a little bit, and I'll feed it all the way home with some
I know how
flour.
precious those things are. Listen.
Oh man, like if I can, if that automatically, if I see anyone with some sourdough starter, I'm like, can I get a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I want to, taste what you taste. I want to eat what you eat. Shit, let me see what you got cooking on over there. If it's something good, and then if you're real crazy, you start marrying those together. Okay.
So
So
I'd set up. So I ask everyone the same question with regards to I let people make their own version of an awards event with different people, but I'm going to start with a food version first. So you've
okay.
got to cook a 3-course meal, start, main, dessert
Fuck. Okay.
for all the guys at CDL. We're talking Miles, we're talking Poker, Ali, the whole team. What are you
Yes.
cooking for everyone? What are we starting with?
3-course meal, appetizer, entree, dessert.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna come in off the appetizer, and if I know my squad, they are very simple people. They don't want too many complicated things that's on their plate. Not everybody gonna eat raw food like that. So I have to. Oh my god, they can't. They can't. Not everybody does spice. Um, we're gonna do. It's gonna be. We're doing I'm doing some dope ass fucking Brussels sprouts or like fried cauliflower or something light to start. Okay. I wanted to say jalapeno poppers, but I'm like, they don't do spice like that. I don't like salad is basic.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to, do some raw fish, but everybody's not eating raw fish like that. Okay.
Oh, if you
That's just
whip out
not what it
sushi or
is.
raw fish for me, I am sold.
Yeah, right. Then we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we're good. And so but yeah, like a veggie or a light soup or some shit. I do a great miso soup.
Okay.
I could do a fantastic miso soup, okay? But after that, let's move on over towards our entree. Okay. Entree, it will be a barbecue feast, okay? We got jerk wings, we got brisket, we got burgers, whatever's in that smoker, okay? We have a little bit for everybody. And then dessert tiramisu.
Oh,
Okay,
listen, my partner,
tiramisu and coffee for dessert.
that's her absolute favorite. If she's ever in a
Yeah,
mood with me, I come home with some tiramisu.
tiramisu.
So good.
Yo, brew a pot of coffee late at night.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect dessert, barbecue entree. All
Yep.
right, and then we're gonna go back roasted vegetable. Okay, roasted vegetable platter,
Yep.
Brussels, cauliflower, zucchini, something fresh, something green, got some grill marks on it, all them vegetables. And then we hit in the grill, then we hit in some tiramisu with some coffee at the end. That's the meal.
And everyone's just going to be later, just
That's
unable
the
to.
meal. That's
They
the
can't.
that's the itis one right there. I think it's the perfect balance of meat, vegetables, and caffeine
Love it.
and boldness.
Awesome. And then the product I've had people doing. So let's say that you were having your own esports event. It's an award show. So like the esports awards, we're talking red carpet and everything else. So first of all, the red carpet that you've got, which two people? These could be celebrities, people you know, any world your oyster. Who are you having presenting the red carpet? Who would be the dream combination?
To present the
This
whole
is
show,
just the red carpet, just the red
just
carpet.
a red,
But
red
we're talking
carpet.
fashion. We're talking people are
I'm
nervous.
okay. Lottie,
Yeah.
Lottie is one, and then after Lottie, I think that well, Lottie and Golden Boy are the two, like they're the two ones that I know. I'm like, ain't shit getting fucked up. They're solid. Let's go. If I had to add anyone else in there, you know, I think that Puckett would be great. I think that Benson would be great. Fucking Miles did a great job at Esports Award last year, just running
Yeah.
around the crowd,
Oh,
fucking with the
listen,
mic.
is the very first award. So my role was making sure that all the presenters were ready to go. And I remember the first award was coming out, and I was going down to the middle bit, and it was the middle, and who was it I was grabbing? It might have been Zoe or someone. And all I remember was behind me was a camera diving towards me with Miles with a mic, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get caught on
Yeah, I'm getting
film
caught on
there."
this one.
I just dove to the ground under a table, just trying to like get out of the shot.
And he gonna throw you in. He gonna throw you into the pit, and he gonna
Oh,
guide you through it.
every single time I see Miles, I go, right, Miles, and he gives me a Miles, and it's just like, what a guy. Spaceman said Ryan Seacrest for this. We've had some interesting people for the red
Like,
carpet.
oh, like actual Ryan Seacrest, Ryan Seacrest.
That's what he said. That's who he wanted. It's his event. That's who he wanted.
You know, if I okay, I'm trying to think about Ryan. But I can't say Ryan Seacrest because that motherfucker don't know esports. Okay,
That's listen.
like
Yeah,
all we gonna get is the Ryan Seacrest effect of Ryan Seacrest being there, and everyone just wants to see Ryan Seacrest on TV, and they don't care
yep.
what he's talking
You're
about,
getting E
who
News.
he's
That's what you're
talking
getting.
to. But he's there. But don't get me wrong, I aspire to have the Ryan Seacrest effect
Yeah.
within me. It needs to be like a little flame on that, put some flame emojis around it, and you're gonna be like the Guy Blaze Ryan Seacrest effect. And but yeah, that man, he could talk paint drying.
And you've entered the event. It's flowing. It's nice. What musical
Dave
event are you having
Chappelle
on?
then, if
Oh,
that's the
Dave
case. I want Dave
Chappelle.
Chappelle
Someone else
there.
has mentioned Dave Chappelle. We've had a Dave Chappelle shout out for sure.
Okay,
what music
Dave.
event? What music event you having on? Who you having performing?
Oh, music event. Oh man, it's gonna be. I was gonna say Drake for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not Drake, then I think that gamers that have fun with T Grizzly. I think that they'll have fun with um J. Cole, but J. Cole taking some heat right now. But I think J. Cole, I've been to J. Cole concert, had a great time, so
Yeah, there's a lot going on
that
with
was
J.
epic.
Cole and
Went to a J.
others.
Cole concert in Denver, boy. And let me tell you, man, that whole first three rows, boy, you could not see us. Okay.
Oh, really?
Nah, you could not. Okay.
Oh.
Because it was so much fog from the machines that was just spewing everywhere. It was just a cloud of smoke around that whole front of the stage.
And then the final two things you need is you need two presenters for the awards. And again, this can be whoever you want. They can
stage presenters. Okay. All right. So
I've had John Cena shout
the red carpet people. Okay. So actually, you know what? Red carpet. I'm gonna double back. Okay, I'm gonna put Shady on the red carpet. Okay, because I like Shady. I'm gonna put Shady on the red carpet with Lottie. I think that is a perfect pair of yin and yang
Yeah.
to really go through that. Okay. And then you go on stage and then you get some presenters. I think low key Maven will be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just because he gonna go out there and just Maven it up. All right.
It'll be
But
in
then
shorts.
he'll be in shorts, right? And then he'll be shorts on stage, right? And then you put Maven next to you got to balance him out. So it has to be someone with elegance, someone with class, someone who gonna reel this shit back in. I'm gonna do Zoe.
Okay, I
I'm
see
gonna
it.
do Zoe. I'll do Zoe next to Maven. And I think, yeah, I just as a someone who's worked with both of them, I think that'd be great.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you so much, obviously coming on and chatting all your
Yeah,
experiences, and
it was a pleasure.
I look forward to all the future events that are going to be going on. For anyone who wants to follow everything you do, where obviously can they find you?
You can find me on Guy Blaze on pretty much all social media, and then Blaze on Twitch and Kick.
Awesome. And
Okay.
obviously, guys, CDL, when it's going live, you'll be able to find it all there and get yourself down to the events, because then you can get the true experience of all the crowd hype and everything else that's going on there, which
Yes, sir. Hey, it's one that you don't want to miss out on. Okay. You
yeah.
know, it's fun to watch it from home, but when you get to the event, hey, we turning up. We're gonna have some prizes there. Hopefully, some good food in the future. Good food always. Okay, the city, we got you on the picks, and we're gonna have a damn good time and get wild.
Awesome. So yeah, make sure you get down. If you can't get to Toronto, there's plenty of events that are gonna be going on for it. So make sure you get yourselves out. For everyone listening, as always, I truly appreciate everyone listening in. Any feedback that you have, send it my way. The feedback so far has been so good. I'm sure at some point someone must have something that's negative, or we'll call it constructive. But send it my way, because we want to keep this thing going. And if you want to get involved, as always, give me a shout as well. But in the meantime, everyone, just keep gaming.